The first thing that I want to do is, since a lot of us don't like reading directions, let's take the directions out. Because it'll help you get started. Because there's a stitching diagram for cross stitch and there's a stitching diagram for back stitching, which you'll only pull and don't let it start to tangle at the bottom. And then what I do is I just lay it out somewhere flat like that, just so it doesn't fall. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Do you cross stitch?
I was going to watch and see if I learned anything. I would
Would you like to join us?
Well,
I have a complimentary kit.
I don't know if I know how to do it.
Well, that's why we're here. And you come at the right time. We're not back too far ahead.
Don't stop for me.
On C days, I'm down there. But this happened to be prearranged for cross stitch. Down there, you just bring your own thing. Yeah, I make it pretty tight because you don't want them to come apart. Like I said, it's supposed to. Now you should have in your fabric. I gave you a needle. You find your needle in your fabric.
Isn't that nice? When you see things like that,
Are you going to join us?
it's very well, you know.
But you can start from top to bottom. Cross stitch before?
Oh, yeah, I was here yesterday.
Okay, here's your kit. What I did with those that haven't is we're plying the red. And what I do is I ply it and I tie a knot at the needle end so you don't have to guess again. You know, just a knot like at the end here. So we're all knotted up. Then you know that when you cut it off, this goes into the needle. Just save the knot.
Thank you.
Do you keep changing your color? Do you work a complete row?
Yeah.
Changing color.
No, I work a row, and if there's 1 or 2 or 3 stitches, I'll skip over them
Right.
by rows.
Yeah.
But then I can go back up to the top and start anywhere up there and work.
Yes. Well, I thought it would be, generally, if I do a big piece, like the piece some of you have seen me work on, I started in the middle. But I think for people who are new at it, I'd rather mark there first, like this is the ear of the bear, and I think you have an arrow on your chart. So that's why I want them. I wouldn't suggest doing it that way.
Best luck I have is to take one strand.
We are. Well, no, 2 ply. Technically. This is a strand that has 6 ply. You break it up into 6. So you're stitching with 2 ply from a strand of 6.
Are most of them 6?
I'm lost.
Okay.
There's 6 to it. There's 6.
DMC floss, when you unravel it, is called a strand of floss. This is a strand. Within the strand, you have 6 ply. So what you're doing is you're plying down the strand to 6,
All right.
tying it in a knot, cutting 2 off the end.
So we are going to.
You're stitching with 2, but it's 2
of them.
ply instead of, it's not a strand, it's a 2 ply. Because any instructor will tell you, you know, you need 3 ply, 4 ply, 5 ply. And it's not the whole thing.
What's your Doesn't matter.
Do you know how to cross stitch?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Oh, I have 2 bears.
Betty, and then you cross back. You don't cross them one at a time. But that's what I do use.
You do not knot these 2.
You really don't knot them, but you're going to try to do, you know what, there is no fast way. Or you can use this. And since there's so few colors, this is probably the easier way to do it.
All right.
And on your canvas, you have a little pencil dot.
Yes.
And that little pencil dot coincides with the little arrow on the bear's ear. So that's going to be your first stitch. You're going to go from the lower left of that little, this is called 8 o'clock, by the way. It's easier to work on than linen, because linen you have to count threads. So each one of these little square parts is going to be a cross stitch. It's going to be an X. You need to do the diagonal first and then come back right hand corner. And like I said, if I had my big board, it probably would make more sense.
I usually leave about ½ an inch.
Right, and then you
on the
catch
back.
it. You catch it on the back when you come back up. You're going to catch that tail. If you're not comfortable with a tail, make a knot. Just be sure the knot doesn't come through. You got it. Okay. Yeah, you don't want that to show.
But anyway, I finished one suck. My mother repeated one suck, one suck. Because there was no television. There was no. You get together with the parents.
No, I want you to come up. See this dot? I want you to come up. Come up in the back. Did you tear out your black by accident? Yeah, you should be, I'm sorry, you should be using 434. Yeah, you go into a filled hole.
Okay, all right.
But don't stop because,
yeah. I just want to see
you know
what,
what, you know what, in the other pictures.
You're making a beer.
I'm not, I make this. Oh, okay.
Why not over?
I've given you plenty. Oh.
That was what?
Raw.
And they say that. Well, some people can.